Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Dead Knitter Society, the Knitting and Grieving podcast. My name is Mira, and you have reached my little corner of the internet where fiber arts and grief intersect. This is episode 20. How'd that even happen? And I gave myself the grace to not record on Mom's anniversary or even on the weekend where I was kind of processing Mom's death anniversary, because it's been more than a year now and I am still figuring out the mouthfeel of what that what that sounds like in my face to say my mother has been dead for more than a year. Wow. But I also at some level have a huge amount of relief that I made it through that year, because honest to God, the day after she died, and that very first sunset where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing a sunset that my mother can't see. And now I've done like a lot of them, but that first one I couldn't see myself a year later. And so at some level, I'm proud. I'm incredibly proud of myself for getting through this year. I miss her. I wish she could see what's going, well, there are some things in America right now that I wish she couldn't, like, I'm glad she's not here to see. Certain disgusting bills that have been passed and whatnot, but the personal stuff, my kids, my nieces and nephews, my dad, I think she'd be really proud. We also, I actually thought this was going to happen on the day that was a year from Mom dying, but her cat passed away at some point between Sunday morning and Monday morning when I found her. So I would like to think that my mom is on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge with her cat Greta and, all of the other animals that we've loved, and, my starter dog and she did this to Baxter to ignore the mess. It's been wild, y'all, but Baxter, little dog butt right there, she had this whole bit that she would, because she was an anthropologist, so she would say, "Let me tell you about dogs in Indonesia," and go through, and they dig a pit and they light a fire. And it was very macabre and very Mom. So yeah, the big scary anniversary is over, and now I am moving forward with some sense of relief. We did breakfast at my brother's house, and I will tell you a story about my little niece who, oh my lands. So here, let me show you what I've been working on while I'm telling you the story, because it applies. It's not just my ADD and my wets wearing off. So I finished one ankle biter sock. I really need to learn how to do this 2 at a time, because this is worse than Sleeve Island. But because it's been so flippin' hot here, I really want to have some like hand knit socks so that I can wear hand knit items when it's hot. So I'm working on this sock, and my little niece, as we're preparing to have breakfast in Mom's honor at my brother's house, she, sidles up next to me on the couch and she says, "Zia, do you know how to knit a sock that would fit my foot?" And I looked at her and I said, "Maddie, I do. Are you asking me to knit you a sock?" And then she looks at me like I've got 10 flippin' heads, and she goes, "Oh, Zia, I think I'll need 2. Oh, that kid, she cracks me up. But so I am using up the leftover Bighorn sock, which is from Farmer's Daughter Fibers that I used for my tanager tank, and this is actually the mini that came with that as part of my Sock Squad subscription, to do these ankle biter. That's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's actually more of like a formula where you take your measurements, and then there's an Excel spreadsheet that you create a copy of, or Google Sheets. You create a copy and you plunk your measurements in, and it gives you, tab by tab each step of what you need to do. And it's been a really lovely little pattern to follow. and some good video tutorial support, particularly with a free pattern. Like, that's amazing. So that has been super enjoyable. I will link that pattern below. I also started, because, you know, why finish things when you have anxiety? Just start new ones to give yourself more anxiety about what you haven't finished yet. I did start another ranunculus, and I had showed you this lovely pairing, which when I started knitting it up for the collar of the ranunculus, this just looks like birthday cake vomit to me. I was really sad about how this looked when I knit it up. Yes, I know I could have done a gauge swatch. No. I did do a really good tubular bind off though that I was quite pleased with. But yeah, holding these double just was not doing it for me in any way, shape, or form. Even like when I got to the stockinette part, I was just really disappointed with it. So this is a beautiful like silk merino blend that I think I'm just gonna use to actually knit socks. And I may actually hold it double to do socks, in part because I'm already knitting with size 1s for my ankle biters. And tiny needles kind of hurt my fingers. So I think I'm gonna hold this double to make it more of like a fingering weight. And then I will find some other use for this. This is a Hue Loco I got from her like mystery bag sale. And this is just her merino sock. So what I ended up doing was I went stash diving. At least I didn't buy new yarn for the ranunculus that wasn't that. I bought, there's a winery in Gilmanton, New Hampshire, and they happen to have a little bowl next to their testing area, or their little tasting area for the winery, that had beautiful, I think it's called the Alpaca Company. It's an alpaca silk blend. I think there might be tencel in this too. Really beautiful sheen to it. I will say it is splitty as fuck. Like, I can't even say AF because it's so splitty. It is a single ply. If you'll be able to see that. It's single ply and it's somewhat loosely plied. And it does have a very nice halo to it. I think I might need to wear like a tank under this because I'm wondering if it's going to be slightly itchy directly next to skin. But I do think that the stitch definition is really pretty. And so I am making another ranunculus. I am not quite yet at the point where you have to decide what size you're making. This is a slightly, I think, larger gauge than what my first ranunculus with the fiber company Luma, whatever, had produced. So I think I may actually go up a size for this. I also have enough of this yarn that I think I'm going to do this as a long sleeve, like winter sweater. But again, the ranunculus pattern is such a joy to knit, and I don't know why I slept on it for so long. I know some people have their opinions about it. You cannot judge from the pattern photos. You have to go in and see what other people do. And so the pattern was designed, and I don't know enough about this Japanese, like couture. It's designed to be super oversized. And like, even this is, the shirt that I'm wearing is about as positive ease as I want to wear on my body. So for me, doing a ranunculus with less positive ease than is called for has been the answer. So it's still drapey, roomy. It's not a fitted sweater by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't want it to be billowy. I just want it to drape beautifully. So that's what I'm going for with this. So we have that. I still have to finish those blessed rats. I've been procrastinating on that. I actually went through and I made my July kind of brain dump. There's part of me that's like, girl, get a handle on your whips, get a handle on your whips. Because it has been really bad. And like, if you look at June, you can see I really didn't wear my knits very much. I need to add them up. I wore my lounging top a lot. I definitely need to make another one of those because I wear that a ton. But like, if you compare that even to May in New England, I'm wearing, I only have a couple of short sleeve tops. I have my Ranunculus and the lounging top and my Grief sweater, but that's because it's color work. It feels heavier and hotter. And it's been, I mean, it was 106 degrees last week. That's like not normal for New England. Couldn't tell you why that's happening, guys. Anyway, you know, everything's on fire in the world. It's cool. But yeah, so I kind of brain dumped out into the month of July. Like, I definitely still need to organize my stash. I just started term B of summer semester and I'm doing 2 electives. And past Mira was delusional. 2 classes, even though they're 3 credits each, over 8 weeks. I'm gonna be busy. So I do really want to organize my stash and my needles by the end of this month. Finish the rats, make the one more. I still need to repair my friend's sweater. And there's part of me that's like, just finish what you have going. Like, get that done. But then there's also part of me that's like, yes, but lounging top, make another. And then I bought yarn for a couple of Hohi's new tops, and I feel like I should be swatching for those. Yeah, I just feel like, despite my best efforts, I think that I've been super scattered. And you know what? This is my hobby. It's supposed to bring me joy. So I'm just really doing where I'm finding joy right now. And I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, it's not like I have to be on some schedule. It's my clothes. I can go into my closet and find something else. But I like wearing what I make. So I'm trying to like focus myself on making things that I'll wear more, which is part of why I'm tracking it in the journal. Anyway, that was a big digression. In the online fiber arts community, I had heard about the Tour de Fleece probably last summer, like when I was spending a little bit more time like sitting with mom at the very end and listening to knitting YouTubes and whatnot. And I was like, oh, spinning. I have unsuccessfully tried to learn to drop spindle, and I own a spinning wheel. And it is one of my goals for this year to actually use said spinning wheel. So I did do a little something. I think I'm going to try to do 10 minutes a day of some kind of spinning. It doesn't need to be successful. I don't need to make any yarn. I just need to try. I need to try. So because I don't really have space right now to pull out that spinning wheel, and I do feel like... Sorry guys, I had a phone call come in and I was so surprised by it that meh. Anyway, I am afraid that if I try to do Tour de Fleece 10 minutes a day on the spinning wheel, that I will get derailed and overwhelmed by the, I don't know how to use this. So I found a very inexpensive e-spinner because I figure that takes up less space and I literally just will need to plunk it on my desk and figure out, that'll help me figure out the drafting before I figure out the treadling on my spinning wheel. So maybe this will bridge that gap of I want to learn how to use this and I'm learning how to use this. Yeah. You know, I'm taking a substance abuse and addiction elective this term, and we have to do a behavior journal. And so one of mine is that I have taken up, for a while there, I was not picking at my nails and not biting my nails for a long time. I'm like a champion cuticle picker, which isn't good when you're knitting because then it snags. But also, like, I opened up a lot. I damaged this part of my finger, and when I knit, I'm constantly pushing the needle down with that, and so that's sore. So I might choose to work on not picking at my hands, but I also might work on my anxiety shopping, because if I'm not picking up more yarn for things that I feel that I should be knitting and then I don't knit, or picking up an e-spinner, please tell me I'm not alone. I can't be the only person who's like, I have an uncomfortable feeling in my heart, let me spend money. I know that I'm not the only person. I mean, the entire advertisement on YouTube thing is structured to do that. Like, oh, what are you interested in? What are your friends interested in? Let me send you this stuff. And I fall susceptible to it so frequently. But that's why we keep these journals in this class, so that we can identify those behavioral triggers and maybe work on them. So I will update you on that. I'm also kind of considering maybe doing like daily, or like having a separate Tour de Fleece video series for like ground zero. I've never done this successfully, and see what happens at the end of the month. One little blip in there is that I am going on a cruise in the middle of the Tour de Fleece. Never cruised before, very excited. Like, does one bring a drop spindle on a cruise? I mean, I could be unhinged enough to like throw the e-spinner in my bag, but like, I just feel like maybe no. So maybe doing the drop spindle, is that completely bananas to bring a drop spindle onto a cruise? It could be. I think it could be. I'm going to need to figure this out. We can also just do maybe a little extra bit, 5 extra minutes, you know, for the last 2 weeks of however long this experience lasts. We'll see. Anyway, so I made it through the first year, guys. I did. I made it through the first year. So I hope that wherever you are, and wherever you are in a fiber arts journey, that you're gentle and non-judgmental to yourself. And if you are grieving, I want to send positive thoughts out to a family. A woman I went to college with just lost their daughter. And that is heart-rendering to me. So I am sending that family so much love and so much care right now. So wherever you are in your grieving journey, I hope you know that the people around you, they're holding you. I have felt so gently held in this first year. And I wish that for people to know that our communities can hold us. So that's my wish for you. All right. I will see you soon. And thank you so much for being here. Ooh, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. All right. Bye.